I'm Katie Hodge here with Window Film Magazine at Stratford Hall in Stratford, Virginia, the home of the Lees of Virginia and the birthplace of Robert E. Lee. We're here to check out how window film is helping preserve history. Come on inside. Stratford Hall, built between 1730 and 1738, was constructed by the governor of Virginia, Thomas Lee, where he raised his 6 sons and 2 daughters. 2 of these sons were Richard Henry and Francis Lightfoot Lee, the only brothers to sign the Declaration of Independence. The last Lee born at Stratford Hall to survive to maturity was Robert Edward, the future general of the Confederate Army during the Civil War. The youngest Lee eventually moved his family to Arlington, and the rest is history. Now, the 1,900 acres which accompany the house are open to the public, and visitors can take a look back in time to discover what life would have been like for the Lees of Virginia. The staff at Stratford Hall is constantly working to preserve the historical collections and the integrity of the building. This is where window film enters the story. Phil Mark, director of preservation, and his staff had implemented interior storm windows with plexiglass to protect the historical objects from damaging UV rays. However, these interior storm windows were beginning to fail.
When you have the large plexiglass interior storms, it's very distracting, and it takes away from the historical feel of the windows.
Mark was familiar with window film from his time at other historical sites and started researching companies and came upon Solar Film of Richmond, Virginia.
Did an internet search because we're pretty isolated here, so it was trying to find something that was close enough, and so talked to a few companies from Northern Virginia and Richmond area. So we're pretty much right in between the service areas, and Solar Film seemed to be the best fit for us and most willing to work with us.
We were contacted directly by Stratford Hall. Phil Mark there had found us on the internet, and Stratford Hall and Montrose, Virginia, we were the closest 3M dealer to Stratford Hall.
John Tuning, the general manager of Solar Film, and his technicians were excited about the opportunity to work on a piece of Virginia history.
I'm familiar with the history of it, the Lee birthplace, and have actually vacationed up in that area, so we were excited to get a hold of a historical property like that and to be a part of the renovation project.
It's a good opportunity to do a historic home of that nature, I guess. That it's a museum quality home, basically.
I was very excited about doing it. It was I'm interested in things like that, history, Civil War kind of stuff, and we learned a lot while we were there too. It's kind of hard not to listen to the tour while it's going down and you're tinting windows. And I heard it so many times, I bet you could hear it. I could recite it to you right now, probably.
I thought it would be pretty cool, Stratford Hall. I'd never really heard of it before the job, but it was interesting to go out and see a historical site like that. Robert E. Lee's birthplace, somebody we've all heard about, so it's cool to go find out a little bit more about him and his family and stuff like that, besides do a cool job.
He came up and spent a couple hours with us, with me and our collections department, going over everything and making sure that he was providing us with what we wanted and everything.
After visiting Stratford Hall, Tuning had few reservations about any potential challenges that his technicians might face.
Whenever we're looking at historical property, we're always worried about the fragile nature of old windows, the frames, the glass. And fortunately, these were in really good shape. A couple of windows broke on us, but the frames there, the work that they're doing is quite good.
I guess the biggest challenge was just getting there, figuring out where everything was. Some things were under construction at the time. Phil had pulled some windows out. Some windows weren't even in the home. I mean, they had been pulled out and were set in the hallway for us to do.
Along with the technical challenges, Solar Film's technicians faced some unusual historical circumstances.
When we were working in one area, there was like a couple old chisels on a windowsill, and I told Phil, I said, yeah, I'll just move those chisels over here, get them out the way. He said, no, you can't touch them, Mike. And they have a curator come in with rubber gloves on to move a wooden chisel out of the way. But we do run into that occasionally, where the pieces around the windows are worth so much that someone has to take care of it. They don't want just anybody moving it. Occasionally you get into an old home like that and you got to worry about maybe some glass is being cracked already, or you might have some fragile windows that you have to just be really careful with. And usually, John will go in ahead of time and just let them know, this is old windows that 1 or 2 out of 300 might break. I mean, it's a possibility. Phil was cutting glass on site. I mean, we broke a window. Phil shows up 15 or 20 minutes later with a piece of glass. Here you go. We film it. He puts it in. So really, it was ideal conditions to do an old house like that with, you know, an expert carpenter on site.
Tuning recommended 3M's Prestige 70 film to meet Stratford Hall's specific needs.
He made real sure of what it was going to look like before he engaged, and he was very comfortable with the product and the look of the product, and so his concerns were eliminated. I think he felt real comfortable with us right off the bat.
Mainly it's for the collection protection. So it's UV protection for the collections and also the wall finishes and the architectural finishes. So protection from fading and that kind of thing. They
wanted something on the windows that you basically couldn't tell anything was on there, but helped control the fading. And you know, the film we use at PR70 is the right product for that, definitely.
They needed protection, but they didn't want to change the look of the glass at all. So this product has got superior protection levels. It really can't tell that it's on the glass once we're installed. So they were very pleased with the level of protection with no change aesthetically to the look of the historical property there.
Stratford Hall's preservation plans include continued window film installation as each room is updated, since the staff was only able to install film on select windows.
We're in the middle of a large-scale restoration project, and so as we do each room within the house, within the Great House here, we will wrap it into each room project, so we'll have solar film come back and do that room at that time. And we did this room because we had the money to do it, and also this room has already been restored, so that's why we had this room done.
After completion of the project, the team involved in the installation was pleased with the final result.
We were just really happy with it. It looked so good. I think everybody enjoyed working on the project. And the people there were so great to work with. They were very happy with the project.
It turned out nice. Everybody was happy. That's the main thing. They were happy. You know, the people in charge of the property felt really good about it.
As we look at it, you know, I think it's a clear proof positive that it's never too late to apply protection to your home. I mean, this place is 300 years old, and they decided with some renovation to go ahead and protect it now. Yes, I think window film has certainly come of age, and this is a real validation of a quality product for a first-class historical site. I guess we were proud to be a part of this historic renovation and work with the caliber of artisans that they had there on site.
Thanks for joining us with Window Film Magazine. Check out more on this story in our July-August issue or at windowfilmmag.com. Stay tuned for more projects coming from Window Film Magazine.